This is Deborah. At 55 years old, she tracked every meal, skipped dessert, and walked every single morning for 2 straight years. Her arms got leaner and her legs grew stronger, but the band of fat around her middle stayed stuck, completely untouched. She followed the standard fitness protocol: calorie counting, core exercises, and daily movement. But despite the discipline, the daily mirror check only deepened her frustration. It felt as though her body was actively resisting her hardest efforts. Doctors and trainers often dismiss this specific struggle as an inevitable part of aging or a secret failure of willpower. They treat the stubborn waistline as a simple matter of eating too much or moving too little. Conventional mechanics fail because they treat love handles as a muscle problem. In reality, the issue is the specific chemical environment running quietly beneath the skin. Deborah's body wasn't broken or mocking her. It was operating exactly as it was built to do, storing energy in response to perceived danger. Treating this biological defense mechanism with traditional calorie restriction is like trying to force open a door that's been electronically bolted. Physical pressure doesn't change the underlying instruction. To release the fat, you have to stop fighting the symptoms and start providing the specific biological signals required to change those instructions. This biological state is driven by 2 specific hormones: cortisol, your internal stress alarm, and insulin, your primary storage mechanism. Together, they create a loop that favors fat retention at the waist. Dr. Sachin Panda at the Salk Institute studies how our modern habits disrupt these rhythms. Checking emails or scrolling through a phone immediately upon waking hijacks the body's natural cortisol curve before it has a chance to settle. This graph shows the result. A healthy cortisol spike at dawn should decline steadily, but modern stress keeps that jagged red line elevated for hours. This sends a loud message to the brain: famine or danger is imminent, so stockpile fat strictly around the center. As cortisol stays high, it triggers a partner response. Dr. Loretta DiPietro has shown that when cells are constantly bombarded by these signals, they stop responding to insulin. When cells stop accepting sugar from the blood, insulin has to put that extra fuel somewhere. Its preferred storage warehouse is your waistline. This cycle spins quietly every day. Blood tests often look normal, yet fat continues gathering because the chemical instructions to store it never shut off. Interrupting this loop starts with a simple habit: 10 slow air squats performed 60 seconds after you finish a meal. Your leg muscles are your body's largest glucose warehouses. Inside the muscle, special channels called GLUT4 swing open like emergency doors. They pull sugar molecules straight from the blood and into the working muscle. Because the muscles are pulling fuel directly, the body releases less insulin. Without that high insulin signal, the instruction to store fat is significantly weakened. By turning your legs into a glucose drain after every meal, you effectively stop the fat storage mechanism before it can take hold. The second signal involves timing. Stepping into natural daylight for 5 minutes within 10 minutes of waking allows your cortisol to peak and then fall naturally, rather than staying stuck at a high level. Delaying your coffee for 60 to 90 minutes after waking prevents caffeine from stacking directly onto that natural cortisol spike, keeping your morning energy steady without adding extra stress. The final signal is the PFC method. You don't change what you eat, only the order. Protein first, then fiber comes second, and carbohydrates always come last. Dr. Alpana Shukla at Weill Cornell Medicine studied this exact sequence. Her research showed that eating identical foods in this specific order resulted in significantly lower blood sugar spikes. These charts show why. Protein calms the appetite, and fiber acts as a physical barrier, softening the impact of carbohydrates as they enter the blood. By the time you eat the carbs, the metabolic response is much flatter. Reordering your meal and managing your morning routine removes the danger signals from your chemistry without the need for a restrictive diet. By day 30, Deborah's waist measurement was dropping, her cravings had softened, and her energy levels remained steady throughout the afternoon. This happened because she stopped punishing herself with extreme workouts. She trusted simple, consistent habits that aligned with her biology. Metabolic control isn't about willpower. It's about speaking the chemical language of your hormones and working with your body's systems instead of fighting them. Pick just one of these habits, the post-meal squats, the morning sunlight, or the new eating order, and start with your very next meal. A stubborn waistline isn't a permanent flaw, it's a system waiting for the right instruction. But daytime habits are only half the story. Next week, we'll look at a nighttime hormone problem that sabotages your sleep and your progress while you rest.